Chestnut Woods.
You had a paranormal experience?
Yes, I moved into my grandmother's house actually the day of her funeral, and what had happened was my grandfather was bedfast years ago, and I had a very real dream about him. My grandma and I always shared that dream. She never had a dream about him because she was there when he died, so we assumed it was because I wasn't there. So I was cleaning in the kitchen, cleaning stuff out, and I heard my grandma call me, and I didn't even think about it so I got up, went all the way through the kitchen, all the way through the dining room, and looked in the den before I realized she's gone, and I'm like, okay, I'm just missing her, and I went back to the cleaning, and I heard my grandfather. So I went out to the middle of the dining room, and I'm like, okay, if I'm crazy, I'm crazy. I've been on too many investigations. I don't know. But if you're here, say something to me. What do you want? Why are you here? And nothing happened. So I was like, okay, whatever. And I went, a couple days later, I went to bed, or maybe a week or so. And my dog got up and just went nuts, went into the kitchen. Our dining room looks into our kitchen. And by the time I got out there, her ball had rolled out to her, and she was still standing there barking into the kitchen like something was there. And now I do have cats, but when I walked back in the room, they were on my bed. So I don't know if they ran out, but that was one thing. So I was like, okay, and I tried to do some EVP work, but nothing was showing up. But I would sit in my office and look all the way down, and you can see straight through, shot through the house. And you can tell when my neighbors are yelling, But it sounded like two people having a conversation in my living room, and I would walk out there and it'd stop. And I didn't say anything to anyone because, I'm like, I'm a paranormal investigator, and they're going to think I'm making this up, But I left my best friend to go get pizza one night, and she's like, do you hear your neighbors talk a lot? And you're like it sounds like they're in your living room? And I hadn't told her about it. So I was like, okay, there's something going on here. So I took a little more merit into that. And one of the last things that happened was I was sitting in my den, and it wasn't my grandfather's voice, but it sounded like a guy was like right here and said, hey. And I turned, and of course there was a wall, so I jumped up and I looked in the little window, and there was no one there. And I was like, all right. And I went to my grandmother's. She died in March, and in May I went to the gravestone for the first time since she had died to put flowers there. And that night I had a dream where I just got the message they were all right. I saw them again, and I have not had anything happen since then. Yeah, it's the cutest, coziest little house, and my friends I didn't really like it during that time, but.
How long was it after your grandmother?
She died in March, and in May I went. May 4th was her, so about a couple of days after that is when I had the dream, and I haven't had anything since then.
It's significant to them at any like that date?
Not that I know of. I mean, because they were married in September, so it wasn't. It was. Because I guess I didn't get to say goodbye. I was the last person she talked to, and then she stopped talking to everybody. So,
Did you go in the kitchen to look around?
I went in the kitchen, and then I kind of looked around the corner because it's a long kitchen, but you can see, from the door everything, and I didn't see anything. But like I said, it could have been my cat, But when I walked back in, they were both sitting there. So, but I don't put.
Probably.
I don't put too much merit on that part, but it did happen, so.